Welcome home, everybody. Ladies, gentlemen, and any other fucking thing that you go by. His, her, they. Babies. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, some parents call their kids babies.
Oh, okay. Anyways, motherfuckers, I am fucking cynical. This is Freakshow Americano, the podcast, and today we have a dope-ass guest that I've known fucking like 19, 15, 6...
Since 7th grade math.
7th grade math,
like
motherfucker.
We're like 12 years old, 13, I don't know.
Fucking Ricky Harper, a.k.a. Rocky Dennis.
Yeah.
A.k.a. Homeboy.
Yes.
In the building.
What's up, man?
Chilling. What's going on with you? Are you working out here, or?
Yeah, I'm back in Florida for the time being.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really missed being home. I missed Florida.
Word, I feel that.
And I missed a lot of, like, family functions and stuff like that. I missed the beach, surfing. Yeah, man, it was just like time for me to come back. I mean, I really hadn't lived in Florida really for the past 3 years.
Yeah, no, it's been fucking forever, dude.
I know. I come and visit like here and then. You guys see me like for like twice, and then
you're
gone.
I'm back. Goes
I'm gone,
Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, rest in peace.
That's right.
But yeah, man. I'm just back here. I signed a 13-week contract at a hospital in New Smyrna.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, and then actually after my first week, they wanted to extend me for another 13 weeks.
We need you here.
Yeah, like Ricky, we need you. So I was pretty stoked about that.
You doing the same thing there as you?
Yeah, surgical tech,
travel,
scrub tech, surgical tech.
Right. That should be a reality TV show.
Yeah, I think about that sometimes because, like, on TV, like, the, Grey's Anatomy and The Good Doctor.
I've seen commercials
they show the OR and stuff, but it's, like, completely inaccurate.
OR
like that show Scrubs?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great show, but it's, like, completely inaccurate.
Right.
The way they depict the OR, it's always, like, super dark, like, ominous.
In real life?
No, in the show.
Okay,
it's always like super dark. They just have like the OR lights on, and then like the room is always dark.
Right.
Yeah, and just like the instruments they ask for, the way they're doing the surgery.
It's all fucking wrong.
Yeah, man. If you do surgery, you're just like, that's whack as fuck.
Well, yeah.
Like I think like they'd have someone there not a representative, but someone to like tell them.
You're doing this wrong.
Right, yeah.
You should do some research.
Yeah.
Right.
But they're like $1 million show. I know they gotta like dramatize it. Like,
yeah, and it's a comedy essentially.
Well, not just Scrubs, like the series.
Anything.
Drama.
Right. Well, they do that with like CSI. Like it's like, oh, we just got the test results back.
Right.
From that DNA.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, son, that takes like weeks.
Yeah, and I always wonder that too. Like, do cops watch Law and Order? And like
probably,
those shows,
dude. Like,
and
no,
they're like,
son.
This is fucking bullshit. You
can't be blowing up cars.
Or even like the
working.
first 48. Like that's supposed to be real.
They got sued.
Why?
Because like I read this article online. This is like a couple years back, but like they got sued because like they put, I don't know, like people were getting charged for shit that they really weren't doing, and it was all because they were trying to make that episode or something along those lines.
Because I remember for a while.
Young Kyle. Look that. No, don't look that shit up. But I read that.
Yeah, because now it says like there's like a little caption before the show starts. It's like charges are usually dropped or changed.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. That's probably after the fact that they got sued.
Probably, yeah.
That's what TV, man. They're always like trying to
draw you in.
Trying to make the money,
They got me with Live PD.
Ad sales, yeah.
They got me, man.
What, that shit's bullshit too?
No. I'll be watching that shit
hooked.
all the time, yeah. All the fucking time.
Dude, it's like Cops, but live.
Right.
I mean,
and then they had the one where it was like Live PD cam or some shit, and it was like just footage from like body cams.
Yeah.
That shit was dope. I was like, damn, because like it's not even like, cops are running behind, the dude trips over the fence. Like, you're just like the body cam view. And you're just like, what the fuck? They're getting in shootouts and shit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It seems pretty real. I don't know why, like, it's so enticing, like why we're so entertained by that, because like
they pump it in our face and we're like, hey.
You know, like every time you're driving and you see someone pulled over, you're like, oh, someone got pulled over. Like it's always like super entertaining.
Right.
It's always like, oh,
slow down.
Someone's getting fucked over.
Yeah.
Someone's going to jail, and you're like, oh, it's not me, so I'm really happy about it.
That's mainly the thing. It's just like that's not over here.
Yeah.
And you could not even have anything wrong, and just like, nah, I don't want to be pulled over for no reason.
Dude, that makes me think about, so when I drove back from California, you know, I was on the fence. I was like, am I gonna bring my weed back with me? Cause
that's tough. That's a tough call.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going across country, man. And I didn't take I-10, which I know there's gonna be border crossings.
For sure.
But I think it's I-40. But part of the drive, you go through Texas. I don't remember the name of the highway, but I looked it up later. Like we stayed the night in Dallas, and when we were in Dallas, I was looking up that highway, and because you see all these billboards like with these lawyers, and it's like caught with weed.
Right, call me.
Like you don't
Did you Google it? Like the route to take? Because I Googled a route to take.
No, I just had gone that route the way there, so I was like, and I'd seen the billboards before because like a few years back when me and Brandon were coming back.
Brando.
Yeah. Idaho. He's coming back.
Good.
Hopefully. Anyways, I had seen the billboards before, and I was like, you don't see those billboards anywhere. I'm like, people are getting busted if you see billboards for weed.
Yeah. It's happening all the
time. So anyways, I looked it up, and then I saw that that specific corridor is really, really high known for drug trafficking. A lot of people from Colorado are bringing, drugs into Dallas and stuff like that, and that specific people are always getting busted. So anyways, I was like super nervous. I was like, dude, am I going to bring my weed?
Why were you even taking it then?
I didn't even have that much weed. I was like, it was like principle. I was like, I'm not going to throw this away. One time when me and my ex-girlfriend, we went into Canada, we were at a campsite, and we just like...
Canada.
Yeah, we left our weed in a bowl, and we like wrote a little note, and like left it for someone.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. But anyways, so we were, I was driving back.
Except you littered, but...
I guess I did. Hippie asshole littered.
Right, motherfucker. You were driving back.
Yeah, so I was driving back. I decided to bring the weed.
You got to.
Yeah, I mean, shit. And I had my little vape thing with my CBD and stuff, which is like a bigger charge because it's like, I guess, a controlled substance.
Right.
Because it's oil or
vape
or whatever.
I don't know the statute or whatever, but
it's a higher charge,
serious,
right?
Yeah.
And then Texas don't fuck around with drugs,
Nah, not at all.
God hates drugs. Anyways, so get into Texas. Like most of the trip, like I see a cop, I never freak out. I'm like, whatever, like it's cool. As soon as I get into Texas, like not even like 20 miles in, you're seeing the billboards, and then you just start thinking, shit,
how many cops are around?
And I'm not even high. I'm like,
paranoid as fuck.
I'm super paranoid. Most of the trip goes well. We get closer to Dallas, and then all of a sudden I see this sign that says like drug checkpoint ahead.
Oh
I'm
shit!
like, what the fuck?
Someone was looking out.
Dude, my heart like dropped, starts beating like 1,000,000 miles a minute.
Now, how much did you have on you?
Like probably either half-eighth or eighth. Like not a lot.
Damn, dude, a mouthful.
Not a lot. Like
yeah.
If you roll like, in my early 20s, we could probably roll like a whole blunt of that. Like no problem. But I'm super nervous. I'm like freaking out. Like I'm like, what am I gonna do? There's a gas station. I'm like, I'm gonna pull over there. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm like, all right, just keep it cool.
Pushing it.
Yeah. Checkpoint never comes.
No way.
Never there.
Motherfuckers.
Right. So I look it up later that night. I'm like, drug checkpoints, Texas. I find out that that's actually not legal. Like, you can't just stop people and search them for drugs.
Right.
Just on a regular road, Like, they have the border checkpoints, and, of course, there they have, like, the legal standing to be able to do that.
Right. Are you talking, like, the YouTube videos of the cats that are, like, yelling out, yeah, this is illegal. Like, nah, just, like, holding up their IDs and shit. Like, fuck off, this is...
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, no, it's not even that. It's just like it's not legal just to like. I mean, they have DUI checkpoints and stuff like that, but like just to stop people on a highway and just check them, like check them for drugs isn't really legal.
Right.
No probable cause.
Right.
When you're crossing the
driving.
border, when you're going through border crossings, it's a little different because you're near international lines. So I guess it gives you that problem. They have the authority to do
Don't
that.
want you bringing in some bad bananas.
Yeah,
fucking us up.
Bad bananas.
They got the weird bugs in it or something.
Yeah, agricultural shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I look it up and I find out that it's. But what they do is they put those there, and then the drug smugglers, they freak out, right? And they do illegal U-turns, or they pull off on the next exit. So you'll see like 10 cops stacked up at the exit, looking at a car from Colorado or suspicious looking vehicle.
Right.
And they'll pull them over and bust them.
No shit.
Yeah. So
it's like bait.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking total bait. It's just like to get those people that freak out.
Right.
And, like, I could have done that, and then like more than like, no, who fucking cares about me? Like, I'm not smuggling drugs.
Right.
You know, like.
But still,
yeah,
fuck that.
Dude, I was so, and every time after that, I saw a cop. Like, I just wanted to get to the fucking hotel. I was just.
I don't even want this weed.
Yeah, dude, I almost considered, like, when we got to Dallas, I was like, I'm gonna fucking throw this shit away. This is not worth the stress.
Yeah, dude.
To deal with this, but I kept it. I thought through the.
It must have been like a victory smoke when you like finally got to though. You know, I've done so much for this.
It was. I hit it.
Where were you going?
So sweet. Back to Florida.
Where you could have got some bud easily.
Yeah.
But it's not Cali bud.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what my rationale was behind it.
Just in case you wanted to smoke on the way. Then
yeah,
you got too
but
paranoid.
I didn't smoke at all.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, and I knew I could get weed here, but yeah, I guess it was like it wasn't California bud. And like that was my bud I got from California. I was gonna bring that back.
Right.
And then my
makes sense.
My vape pen was like almost empty too. Like.
It got you through though.
Yeah, it did.
It did its job.
Stuff.
Yeah.
I was saying earlier, I love the CBD, the vape. It's good.
I haven't fucked with that really.
Dude, it's good, man.
Yeah, I believe it.
Like,
I mean, the gummies, those are alright. I mean, they're nothing like crazy.
Well, you don't really feel anything.
Yeah.
But I like when it's blended with the THC because you get like the CBD and THC, they interact with each other, so they kind of like, they play off each other, and it's like this whole experience, Most bud you get today, it's like just THC.
Yeah,
no CBD
and like
at all.
high percentage.
Right. Like people like, in the 60s, like, oh yeah, the weed back then wasn't as strong. Like, well, it really wasn't because we like perfected how we grow it.
Yeah, we figured out, well, they figured out how to do that. I don't know how to do the shit.
No.
But it's still dope.
Yeah.
And then they like took one part of it, it's like making the non-alcoholic beer. You know what I mean? It's like
duels. Yeah,
but it's like, that's what CBD is. It's like...
Yeah. And it actually has so many medicinal benefits, But, like, when I got to California, like, leading up to that, like, I had a kind of an episode, like, anxiety, episode.
Right.
I never really...
Was that the same time where you were like, I stopped smoking, man? And I was like, why? What happened? You were, like, the biggest stoner I knew.
Yeah,
it's like,
that might have been a different time.
I had a fucking panic attack. You didn't like smoke in a while.
Yeah.
And then you did, and then like shit went sour for some. You felt fucked up or something.
That's been a few times.
Yeah. Damn,
yeah, dude.
Is that like a panic attack, like anxiety, just like?
Yeah, like it's been weird, man. Like my relationship with marijuana, like, obviously, from like 17 to like my mid-20s was. More like even before that, but like, throughout like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Right.
I was a huge stoner. I mean,
yeah.
I smoked all the time. Like, there was no amount of weed that would put me down.
You would be asleep, and we would like be passing, and then you would just like wake up and be like, hey, like try to get back in rotation. It's like I wasn't sleeping. And it's like, yes, you were, motherfucker.
I just want to hit it again so I can go right back to sleep.
Yeah, that was you.
Yeah, like I was a super stoner, and honestly, when it really started was when I started my relationship with my ex-girlfriend Amber. I had like an episode where it was really weird, but like I just told her like I loved her. And from that brought up a lot of like inner demons, a lot of like doubt, a lot of
insecurities.
Insecurities.
Right.
And I started like having all these thoughts in my head, like pointing out things about her that I didn't like.
Oh shit.
Like
got critical.
Yeah. Like it was, and I loved her so much. Like she was like my first real love, and it was like I became like OCD about it. Like it was just fucking me up, dude. Like I kept thinking about all this shit.
I hardly ever seen you during that.
Yeah.
I came over every now and then, like.
Yeah, well, I was. Yeah, that was like another part of my life. You know, it was kind of part of my departure from the old Ricky. And like
Rocky
my
D.
yeah
To
for
fucking
real
Scrubs, bruh.
yeah. And
Before though.
Yeah.
Right.
That was right when I met her. I just started going like doing my prerequisites to go to school for that.
Right. How long were you in school, real quick? So I was thinking about this.
So the actual program itself is like 10 months. Right. Now it's 2 years, but at the time it was 10 months. But I had to retake a bunch of classes because when I was
lame.
Yeah, I had to have a certain GPA, and then when earlier when I went to DSC or Daytona State,
DSC. Yeah.
That's when we were living at the house, so like obviously school wasn't
off of Little Ridgewood.
No, man, when we were living in the band, that band.
1808.
1808.
Halifax.
Yeah, that's when I was originally going to Daytona State.
Okay.
For my second year, but I just like completely dropped.
I don't remember that at all.
Because I never went.
Okay.
That's why.
All right.
So I failed all my classes, and yeah. So I had to retake those classes to turn them into A's. Like I actually applied myself. I got A's, and then I took the 2 prerequisites: medical terminology and anatomy and physiology. And then they had like an interview process, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, that started the program itself in 2013.
Right.
So me and Amber had already been together for a year at that point.
Okay.
But the first few months, like I said, I told her I loved her, and I don't know, dude, I just went into this funk, man. Like, it was just like this anxiety, depression. I don't even know how to describe it. It was like, like the depression, like the low feeling, but then the anxiety, like not knowing what's gonna happen. Like I don't know. It's really hard to describe. Right. I was fucked up.
Right. Yeah. Hey, man.
Like it was just and that was the first time that I ever really stopped smoking weed, because what was happening is I was smoking weed and like I'd get high.
Thinking.
Yeah, dude, and then like heart start racing fast.
Mental.
Yeah, super mental.
Yeah.
And so that was like my first break from weed, but I got over that, like it was something like I worked through, and come next May or like April or May, I was like smoking again. But honestly, from that point on, like my relationship with weed really changed. It was never the like complete same again. Yeah. And then a long time went by, we trying to think. So yeah, like I started surgical tech school. She went to college, blah blah blah. Then we ended up, went to Central America, did all that shit. Then we ended up moving back. That's when we lived in the Orange House.
Okay.
Back to then. So I was smoking weed like on the reg then.
Were you smoking out in Central America?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I started smoking tobacco.
Ah, picked up the habit again.
Yeah. Well, I never had smoked tobacco, but we bought some hash in Nicaragua.
Nice.
Yeah. Some American guy. He had some hash. We were like at some hostel, or like it's like kind of like eco hostel. Like you basically sleep in your tent. They had some cabins and stuff, but we just slept in our tent there. It was like $2 a day per person or something. Fuck. And they like made really good food there. And
hell yeah! Was that included in the $2?
No, you had to pay for it. And the way they got you too is like you didn't pay for anything until after you left.
Right, they were charging you.
Like, yeah, chocolate banana, chocolate banana.
Need that towel?
Yeah, like just eating rice and beans, all this good food, and then like you come back and it's like, oh, you owe us like $100.
Fuck, dude! It was only $2 to stay here.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Anyways.
Yeah, fuck it.
So yeah, we met a guy in Nicaragua, and we bought some hash from him. I think we bought like a gram, the equivalent of like $20 or $30.
Right.
Or maybe it was more. I don't really remember, but it was a good deal. I was like, we're in a different country, we have hash. Like,
fuck it, why not?
How fucking sweet is that?
Right.
I think we ended up making a hash pipe out of a carrot, I want to say.
Nice.
It was like a carrot.
You were the vegan, right? You were still...
No, I was never vegan.
No.
I mean, I eat vegan food.
Dude, the whole time I thought, like, you were just, like, vegan as fuck.
No.
Growing your own tomatoes and peas out back.
I did do that. Not the peas, but we did have tomatoes. But I was never vegan.
I thought that whole time I thought you were vegan.
That's pretty funny. No, I was vegetarian at one point for like maybe 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
So maybe those times where I was like, no, I'm not eating meat. You're like, man, this motherfucker's vegan. Not eating meat.
Gluten ass motherfucker. Because y'all had like the weird sages and shit. Like,
yeah.
Y'all were really involved in. I don't know if you still are, but like, I never understood the shit. You would just be like, yeah, I have this sage, and you put it in the bowl. And
you burnt like smudging.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Amber did the shit. She like added it to the bowl or something and smoked it, and it was like some other shit.
Yeah, she would have done that. No, we did for a while though. I was smoking like those herbal cigarettes. Like we put tobacco and mix it with like clover, lavender, and all this other stuff, and that kind of got me like it was like easing my way into actually smoking real cigarettes.
Right. It's like I'm smoking all this shit.
Yeah, like
this is way easier to get.
It was like easier on me. At first, it was just the herbal cigarettes. I'm like, yeah, herbal cigarettes. And then I started mixing it, and then after a while, like I started smoking the Black American Spirits, the Paraquat. And those are like heavy duty. Like,
yeah, dude.
Well, for a while, I was rolling my own American Spirits.
Filters, no filters.
No filter. I was a pussy, no filter.
Damn.
But I can only like after you smoke one of those, dude. Burns for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Super hot, like
fucking
super
intense,
high.
dude. Yeah, dude.
It's a lot, dude. And dude, I went and hung out with my friend Cody in Cocoa Beach, and his friends were like doing bong rips of tobacco.
No.
So like, yeah, you just fucking take a bong rip and you get you fucking super lightheaded.
I bet
and high.
you get so fucking lightheaded.
They're like,
dude.
you want to do it? I'm like, no, I'm alright.
That'd be like the scene in The Sandlot where they all puke after the fucking Tilt-A-Whirl.
Are they doing the chewing
with
tobacco?
the chewing tobacco? I think that would just be so much. It would be like too much.
Yeah,
It'd be
exactly.
like an overload.
Yeah. But anyways, back to my relationship with weed.
Yes.
So yeah, we were living in the Orange House, and like I was smoking a lot, and that was like when I first started my job at Halifax. That was a super stressful time for me. Like, I'm like this like chill stoner dude, you know. Like I worked at Quiznos with you.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about it later. That was good times.
Yeah, it was.
Daytona Lagoon. I worked at 7-Eleven. I did all these other like bullshit jobs.
Laid
Pretty
back,
much everything you can
clerk.
like smoke weed at and you know, whatever.
And still work there.
Now I'm like back. I'm like slamming to this like I'm in the operating room.
Yeah,
you know, I'm in
dude,
a serious environment.
Can't be high.
No.
Fucking with people's lives.
Well, I found out later some people were high.
Dude, cocaine.
Yeah, and marijuana, and some people would get drunk. Not usually they'd be on call and they'd be drinking and then they'd have to go and do surgery. So I'm just like slammed into this new environment. I'm the new guy. Like I don't, school only prepares you so much for that. Like and then you start and then like when I graduated, I was like, man, I really do not know what I'm doing. I'm like not ready to be on my own.
Damn, that's a fucking crazy feeling.
Yeah, and then but they don't like throw you to the wolves.
Right. You're gonna like shadow people. Or...
Yeah, for a few months, like they know you're like.
Well, they're not gonna. Yeah.
Well, they don't. Yeah.
Like, they're not trying to kill someone.
But it's still hard, man. Like it's a hard environment, and like you have to really humble yourself. If you come off cocky or like you know everything, people are just gonna dismiss you.
Word.
And they're not gonna help you out at all. Even
throw
if like
someone, that's when they throw you to the wolves.
It's like a pack mentality. I mean, the OR is a very like.
Well, you gotta have each other's fucking back, like.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny because like some of the dynamics in the OR like remind me of high school. Like there's like cliques.
Always.
Any job I guess is like that.
Yeah, steak and shake. It was.
You got the orthopedic surgeons that are like the jocks, and then like it's like kind of a boys club because it's like a lot of hammering and drilling and sawing bone and all that stuff.
Heavy duty.
Yeah, and then the neurosurgeons are like the nerds, but they're picked on their whole time in high school, and now they have position of power, so they treat you like shit because they know so much.
Because fuck you.
Yeah, they're like fuck you, fucking.
Not all
hippie
of them.
Guy.
Not all.
No. But so yeah, it's like very like cliquey, and like if you have a certain kind of personality, like people are always like gossiping about each other.
Yeah, it's just like a natural thing, man. It's just a human trait that we have for some fucking reason.
Yeah, a lot
of people like to talk about shit.
Yeah, make yourselves feel better about
Right.
yourself by talking about someone else.
Right.
I always try, whenever I did talk about someone at work, I always said it knowing that the other person would, like, find out that I said that. And, if I said something,
Pass
I'd be
it down.
prepared to say it to their face.
Right.
You know, I always, like, try to stick by that.
That's a good trait.
Yeah, so it was a fucking stressful time, dude. Like, you're slammed into these surgeries, like, when you're a fresh fish in it, like, everything's just so crazy. Like, you know, you're not jaded by it yet. You're not, like, used to everything yet.
Right.
So
and it's
everything's,
not like
like,
they could
new.
just be like, we're gonna throw you to this little simple thing. It's like, we need you here. This
Yeah,
motherfucker's
yeah,
leg.
and you know, you gotta show initiative. You gotta show, like, you want to learn, and, like, if you don't, then you're never gonna learn, and then you're just gonna, like, be a shitty tech.
Right. And no one's
Like,
gonna want to work with you, and you're
right,
gonna fucking
everyone's
fuck
gonna
up
be like that.
someone's life. Or
Yeah, like, that dude fucking sucks, or doctors are gonna kick you out of the room. And,
Right.
you know, it's
Rightfully so, though.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, dude, it's now that I've been doing it for, like, over 4 years now. It's like all the different places I've been to. This is my, I think, 5th different. Well, maybe my 6th for Halifax, Ogdensburg, Cooperstown.
Whoa, what states are these?
Oh, so Ogdensburg is in New York.
Okay.
It's on the Canadian border.
Huh.
You look out the window, you could see the St. Lawrence River, which is the border between New York State and Ontario.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Me and Amber, actually, when we went to, I think it was Ontario, to Ottawa for New Year's Eve. It was her birthday and New Year's Eve, and we actually got stopped. Well, we crossed the border, and they made us, like, pull over. We had to wait there for, like, an hour. And then, like, they made us come up to the
For
desk.
what? Who stopped you?
Well, we're at the border crossing, and then the, like,
Who was
security
it, though?
guard guy.
Like America, or was it?
No, it was
Canada?
a Canadian.
Okay.
And I can see why we seemed suspicious. I mean, we both, like, look like hippies.
In the van? Was it in
we were
the van?
in the van, yeah.
Oh, shit.
And he's like, "Where are you guys going?" I was like, I don't know. I don't really know the hotel." Because I really didn't. I mean, I knew the address. Like, we had a GPS, but I really didn't know. Like,
Right,
we'd
yeah.
like, booked it, like, a day before.
Look at the GPS.
Yeah, I was like, I think it's, like, on the Quebec side, but, like, Ottawa. And he's like, okay. And then
Sound like a jackass.
he's like, "Do you have?"
fucking
Yeah. He's like, "Do you guys have anything to hide?" I'm like, I mean, we have this bottle of liquor. That's all, you know. He's like, "Okay, you guys just pull over there." I'm like, "Oh shit."
Motherfucker.
This is funny. So we pull over. We get into, like, the not holding, but it's like the border center, whatever you call it.
Where they got their lights? Like a carport kind of deal?
Well,
or?
that, but it's actually like a building.
Okay.
We parked, like, underneath this, like, canopy thing or whatever.
Right.
And so we walk in, and then there's, like, this group of nuns just sitting there. And
Oh my god.
I think they're, like, from Central America or something. So, like, something was with their passports or
No shit.
I don't know. I was like, what?
What the
These fucking
fuck?
nuns, man. They're really strict here. So, like, we wait for an hour, and I'm like, I don't know. At that time in my life, like, I would get, like, stressed out about shit really easily.
Fucking
So
A.
Amber's like, "Oh, it's so cool," and I'm like, "Oh man, it's fucking bullshit." Like, I'm all, like, you know, anxious about it. You know?
Yeah.
So they call us up, and they're like, "You guys know what we're looking for?" And I'm like, "Drugs, weapons." Like, I don't know. And they're like, "Yeah, like you guys have any drugs on you?" And I'm like, "No. I'm like, we're not that stupid to, like, cross
The
the border with
fucking,
drugs." Yeah. Like, "You sure you didn't have, like, some friends with you, like, that had weed, and, like, they left it in there?" We're like, "No." And they're like, "So we go look in there.
Oh lord.
We're not gonna find anything." I'm like, "No, we have a bottle of liquor for New Year's and her birthday, and that's it." So, lo and behold, they go look, nothing. They don't find anything. They
Right.
send us on our way. I'm like, "Motherfucker."
Hard
So
on you.
when we came back, this is funny. So when we came back a couple of days later to the United States, and we had, like, this little jar, and Amber opens it, and there's, like, these little flakes of weed in it. I was like, "What the fuck?" And we were, like, just about to cross back into America. Luckily, there was, like, a gas station right there. So, like, I pulled over. We threw it away.
Right.
We crossed, and then we cross, and you know, we get to the border, and the guy's like, "What are we doing in Canada?" Like, "Oh, just New Year's, blah blah blah."
Partying.
You American citizens? Yeah. Okay. Have a good day. So
Yeah.
much easier.
Yeah.
You know,
fuckers.
Canadians are pricks, man.
That's so crazy. Like, I seen this comedian the other day talking about it. And, alright, so we're gonna take a break. We'll be back.
A break? What?
A break. Yeah. And we're back.
We're back.
Yes. And we were talking about... Well, first...
We do a shot first.
Yeah, first. Let's get our fix. Let's do this.
Cheers.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, people.
Woo! You. 30. Before we start, I don't know why we were just talking about clubs, but have you heard of the group Hippie Sabotage?
Excuse me. No, sir.
Check them out. Pretty cool.
What kind of band?
They're like hip hop, but like very chill. Not almost trancey, but like lots of like slow beats, but heavy bass. But,
Right.
like, just super like you can just vibe to it. And I was listening.
Like the new Cypress Hill.
Kinda like
weed
2019 Cypress Hill.
Right.
I
That could be
guess.
the new one because Cypress Hill is fucking Cypress Hill. So.
Right. But I was like, man, if they played this kind of shit at clubs, like I would be awesome.
Be more interested.
I would totally go to a
People
club.
wouldn't be high though. They'd be all drunk.
Well, this shit you could definitely get high to and listen to.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah,
People
yeah.
Getting high in the club.
It'd be a way different scene.
That'd be cool though.
I mean, the first time I went to Razzle, not the first time, but the first time I went to Razzle was just high, not drunk.
It's a lot different. It's a lot different. I don't like this shit.
I was like, oh my god, this is lame.
Yeah, dude. And then you like watch everybody and see like.
Yeah, like you do the laps, right?
Yeah.
And you you're just walking around and you're like see these dudes trying to hit on girls and then like
See them line them up.
everything. Yeah.
They're like watching from like the side because like Razzles has that like little dip. They're like at the fence.
Yeah.
And they're just like watching, waiting, and they're like,
yeah, like fucking vultures,
get in
man.
there.
Like,
Some chick that's like,
who can I ask?
oh my god.
Who can I get a drink for? Who am I gonna fuck tonight?
Got my
Ooh,
Bill
yeah.
Cosby sweater on. Getting it tonight.
Yeah, they never do. Anyways, so yeah, we were talking about good segue. Yeah, we were talking about different places I traveled. So yeah, I was in Ogdensburg, that whole story, and then after that, I came back to Florida, and so we had a Sex Monkey reunion.
Yes.
It's awesome.
If people don't know about the Sex Monkeys.
Hottest band in Daytona for 6 months.
That's right. What year?
I don't know.
We were fucked up.
2012.
We were rock stars.
Yeah, I mean, we were a pretty fucking big deal.
Yeah. We were.
No, I think about it, man. Like, I go to Tiranog nights, and there's, like, bands playing or whatever.
Right.
Dude, whenever we played there, it was filled up.
And it was. The scene's changed
I'm
a
not
lot,
gonna
though.
lie. Yeah,
It's changed a lot.
it's true. But, anyway, so yeah, I was, Cooperstown, and then after that, that's when, let me think about it, Cooperstown.
Where's Cooperstown?
It's in New York.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what happened after Cooperstown.
Did you have the van?
I still had the van then. Oh, yeah, okay. So, yeah, Cooperstown, I came back. I drove down from Jersey. I saw Dylan in Tennessee.
Right.
Hung out with him for like a week.
Hell yeah.
That was really cool.
Deuce.
Yeah, ate some edibles, saw the mountains, smoked weed. We played pool a lot.
Nice. And are you guys good at it or?
No. Well, at the end of after like the week, I thought I was like a professional. I thought
Right.
like I was fucking good because we were playing all the time.
Right.
But then like I played other people and like I still suck.
Right.
But it was pretty funny when we were playing pool. Like there was one night like we were super stoned and like we're playing like every like shot we were gonna just, like shoot. Like it could be like a game winning shot or it could have been like just whatever. I'd be like game blouses. We did that like every fucking shot. And dude, I was so high. Like it was awesome. Like we were eating edibles, like smoking weed, and like
just having a good time.
just playing pool, listening to music. But I just
Yeah.
remember us being like game blouses. And we were ironically listening to Korn Unplugged.
Oh Jesus.
What's the singer from The Cure? Robert.
I don't know.
Robert something. Do you know, Kyle? Robert Smith.
Alright. I was gonna say he's got Google.
He's got like some basic like, you know, I'm Robert Smith. But anyways, he does a song, Make Me Bad. He's like, make me bad.
Oh man.
We were like, listen to that.
Cure's dope, but like, fuck that. No.
And like, there's like a really weak intro to that song or one of the songs, and like Dylan would like come in my room in the morning and like just blast that like intro, and
motherfucker.
Like, ah. But
fuck you. Get out.
So yeah, I was in Cooperstown, came back, saw Dylan, went to Florida. I went to I was on my way out to actually see Brandon because my plan was like, I don't know what the fuck I was gonna do.
Right.
I had just broken up with Amber, like.
In New York, or?
Yeah.
Did y'all drive together?
Well, while I was in... Well, I guess breakup's a very relative term. The end of our relationship was while I was working in Cooperstown. Breaking up, I don't know, I guess you could say that happened probably maybe right as we got to New York or right before we left to go to New York. Well, I'll talk about that later. So I came back to Florida, and I was on my way out to see Brandon in Idaho. And then I was in Louisiana for a while. There was my friend, a different girl, Amber, a friend that I met in Guatemala.
A different Amber.
Yeah, better Amber.
That's funny.
Yeah, so like I knew her from Guatemala, and I knew she lived in Louisiana, which is like on the route out to Idaho. And I called her up or whatever, and I was like, hey, I'm coming through. And she's like, yeah, come chill with me, blah, blah, blah. So like I hung out with her for a week. I met a lot of cool people out there. I went to this festival called the Black Pot Festival.
Black Pot.
Yeah, it was like lots of like Cajun music and I guess bluegrass, like Texarkana. You know, like that, like lots of like the fiddles and horns and the guy singing in Mexico, or not Mexico, that's so stupid. Oh man, singing in Spanish.
Right.
That shot got me. So yeah, they call it ranchero, like that,
right.
You know. So yeah, I was at the Black Pot Festival, and like, you know, there like you like dance with people, like there's like it's called like the two-step, like you dance with a girl, and like.
Huh.
It's a cool like dance.
It's like a square dance?
No, not like the square dance. There's like a certain movement you do with like the beat of the music, and so that was like I never like experienced that thing of like asking a girl to dance.
Will you dance with me?
Will you dance? Do you dance?
Do you dance? Can I have this song?
Dance. Anyways, so like I was there with this cool dude Zach and this other guy Gabe, and like people saw us and like, you guys look like you're best friends. Like we'd only known each other for like a few days, but like we just clicked, you know, like you meet people and you're just like you chill with each other. Yeah. So like we were in this one. There was like 3 different stages. Like one was in this like venue, like I don't know, big bar. They had a stage and all that, and then one was like in an old schoolhouse, and then there was like another area where they had like bands playing and stuff. And I was like waiting. I was just chilling. Like Gabe asked a girl to dance, and I was like, "Shit, dude,
this is how it happens."
I was like, "I gotta ask a girl to dance." I was all nervous.
Can't be no chump, dude.
No, but a girl came and asked me.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's 2000. What?
17? I don't know. 17. You know, it's progressive era. You
That's
know,
right.
Girls can ask guys. Sadie Hawkins.
It's all equal now.
And,
except the pants prices, because I seen that.
Dude, man.
Earlier on a commercial.
Girls pay more for razors than guys.
Yeah, but they pay less for pants.
Do they?
Yeah, J.C. Penney's or some shit like that. I seen the commercial.
Fucking socialist. Anyways.
Poor Bernie had a fucking heart attack, man.
He did. I saw that. I was bummed. I was like.
But he's out and he's like, I'm back.
I'm back. That's why we need health care for everyone.
That's right.
I had a heart attack, but I had good health care. If you're poor and you have a heart attack, you're fucked. Anyways, so this girl, I remember her name, Kimberly. She's from Maryland. It's ironic. Right. My girlfriend's name is Maryland.
Right.
I just thought that. Anyways, she asked me to dance. We get up, she's like, okay. I walk up. to the stage or whatever, and I was like, I really don't know how to do this dance.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. And it's like cool, whatever. And then like we start dancing, but then the song ends, so it's like kind of like awkward, like yeah, it's like but we're like, it's cool, like we'll wait till the next song, and then we dance, and then so that was cool, like we danced or whatever, and like I got the feel of how it goes and stuff.
Right.
And then like once that happened, like I got my confidence up. Yeah, and then like
start footloose.
Went to Kevin Bacon, man. And then I went to the like the main hall, and that's where they had like the ranchero group. They're called like Los Texicon. I don't know, like, but anyways, they're jamming out, dude. It's fucking sweet. And I'm just asking all these girls to dance. Everyone's saying yes, because everyone's just there to have a good time,
right. Just trying to dance.
Yeah, dude, like dancing with all these girls, like it's fucking sweet. And then like, I end up dancing with this one girl. And, like, we danced, like, a few times, blah, blah, blah. And then, it was a cool time. Then we ended up, like, I ended up, like, hanging out with her a little while afterwards, and then...
You boned her.
No.
Not on the dance floor.
No, not on the dance floor. Anyways, I was with those other two, Gabe and Zach, and I was wondering where they were, I was like...
Partying.
Yeah, they were partying. And, so anyways, I ended up... had a really good time at the festival. We went to the after party the next night.
After party of the festival.
Yeah, like at this different place.
Damn.
Yeah, and then I asked a bunch of other girls to dance. Dude, it was fucking awesome time.
It's like the thing.
Yeah, like I had a really good time. It was like really sweet. Like, I was super vibing on it.
Hell
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And this is after all that dark period that you had just went through.
Yeah.
So it was
really good
like
for
unleashing.
me. Yeah, man, like, it was, like, the first time in a long time that I actually really felt, like, just being me.
Right.
Like, just being Ricky and...
Not having to worry about...
Yeah, because, like, with Amber, I put so much energy into the relationship, so much expectation. Like, my existence depended on, like, if we were going to be together or not, you know, like... I mean, that was, like, my first real love, like, I went through high school, like, I had a couple flings here and there, but not, like, a real, like, substantial relationship.
Right.
Like, she was my first real love, and, like, part of my nature at that time was just, like, my value as a person depended on, like, how she felt about me, like, her interpretation of who I was, her, like, so, like, I put so much into that, so when things weren't working out between us, or like she was doing her own thing or whatever, like I would shut down, like I would feel like worthless, and like go through that depression and everything.
That sucks.
Yeah, man, it was a really like hard time when when I finally decided to leave that situation, like. That was the first time in years that I really, like, did something for myself.
Right.
Like, the first time...
And the best thing you could do.
Yeah. I couldn't keep myself in that situation anymore.
That's shitty.
Yeah. I mean...
It's not fair to anybody.
Yeah, like, it was hard, man. There's a lot of dynamics, too, and a lot of things that people probably won't understand and will never understand. But for me, I was just navigating it the best way that I knew how. And, when she originally, told me that, I remember it clear as day. We just went to Publix to get ice cream, and we came back to my parents' house, and we were, like, on the road, parked on the side of the road, like, right in front of the house.
Right in front of your parents' house?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she tells me, like, we need to talk. I'm like, okay, when a girl tells you we need to talk, it's usually never good.
Right, because you can just, like, start talking.
There's always some, yeah, like, like why do you gotta have why do you have to segue into, like,
we're about to have a conversation.
We're about to have something that you don't like.
Yeah.
A conversation that you don't like.
It's that preparing.
Yeah. Which, in retrospect, like, I give a lot, I mean, people will be like, what the fuck, why do you give her credit? But, it's a hard thing to do, because, like, I know she did love me, and I know she cared about me, and, like, what she did took a lot of courage and was, like, hard to admit, because, like, love's a complicated thing, like, to me, like, love is universal. Like, love is just love, and what makes love different between different people is the relationship those people have.
Right.
You know, like love is the main ingredient, but then when the two people they mix those ingredients together and it creates a different thing. But love is like constant.
Yeah.
So like no matter what, like love was behind everything that happened, but it was fucked up in a lot of ways because like I suffered a lot. I had a lot of pain. You know,
right. So for the people that don't know, she had said that she had cheated on you.
No, there was no cheating. So,
all right.
Me and Amber, like, so after a year of our relationship, she had gone away to college, and after 6 months of college, she came back like around January, February. So maybe it was like 6-7 months.
Remember that?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
The school thing.
So she came back and told me that, and you know, like leading up to it, like before she even went to school. I mean, she was young, man. Like I was 23. When I met her, she was only 17. You know.
Damn.
Yeah, like she was still in high school. I remember going to one of her soccer games and someone was like, "Are you here to see your sister?"
Oh my god.
I'm like, "No, I'm here to see my girlfriend."
Damn, son.
But anyways, so like, she's young, man. Like, and you know, people change, dude. Like, that's why people get married young. Like, they end up fucking hating each other because like, either they can grow together or like they just grow up to be different people.
Yeah, for sure.
So, anyways, like she had been to college for a while. And like we were doing the long distance thing, like we were 3 hours away from each other, you know, but I could see from her perspective, like she's young, man. She's trying to, you know, learn about herself, be free. Like when I was her age, like having a long-term relationship was like the last thing that I like would think about, you know? So like anyways, she basically told me like she wanted to have like an open relationship. You know, she still loved me, like wanted to be with me, but like she wanted to be free to kind of just explore in college, right. And you know, and do her thing.
There's a lot of people that do that.
Yeah, especially nowadays, it's like very.
Yeah, that's like it's not even too shocking anymore.
No, I mean to the like conventional person.
Yeah.
They hear that and they're like, "How could you ever do that?" Mm-hmm. But the way I look at love is a lot differently.
Right.
You know, like I love this person for who she is, not just because she gives me love. Like.
Right.
You know, like, I love them just for who they are. Yeah, exactly. Like, I was really trying to... I'm not saying it was easy.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I fucking was depressed and, like, all that shit. Like, it was fucking rough, dude, for a few months.
I couldn't imagine. I just, like, was around and, like, was like, what the hell?
Yeah, well, this is even before that. Like, This is years before that. And,
Jesus, Murphy.
Just for a while. And, you know, for a while, like... You know, we went like a few weeks without talking on the phone, but then, you know, she would call me like, "I miss you," and like, you know, we'd talk, and then after like a month or so, she ended up surprising me and coming to see me, and like it was like so intense when we saw each other again, like the passion, like you know, and there was a kind of a guy she was seeing while she was in college, like up there, and he was like, you know, "I want to have you to myself," and she's like, "Nah."
Fuck you, bro. I'm out.
And, you know, me, I was, like, open to it. I was like, whatever. Because, like, it's my first love. So, like, I was really trying to, like... Because I'm really about, like, holding truth in things and, like, being real about stuff and not letting my ego, like, dictate my emotions and my decisions that I make. Right. You know, and just because of, like, pure jealousy... Like, jealousy is a very, like, primal thing. Like,
yeah, for sure.
This monkey's got more apples than me.
Mine.
Yeah, like, it was more of, like, a survival... you know, for survival back in like the early like primitive days, hunter, you know, we needed it for our survival. It's very primitive. Like all our basic human emotions are very primitive. So I try to be like very like conscious of that, you know, and I was like, even though it was so hard and like for me, like I was like, I love this girl. Like I understand that she needs to explore. Like I love her just for her, not just because of what she gives me. But I mean, through our whole relationship after that point, that was a constant struggle.
Yeah, like, I can imagine, man.
The jealousy, like, you know, the doubt, like, the, like, not being sure if, like, I'm enough for her when she's got other people, like, you know, so just a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, I can imagine that weighing, like, heavy on your head. Just
it
like,
was.
Why can't I be enough kind of deal or some shit.
Yeah, like, yeah. And, like, you have all these, like, conventional things that are, like, placed into your head that it has to be a certain way. Like
Yeah.
you see other couples on Facebook or whatever, and like
It's
why
terrible.
why can't we be like that?
Right.
Like why does it have to be? And that's where the expectation comes in. And that's where
Yeah.
like when you expect it to be a certain way, you're always going to be let down. If it does happen, you expected it, so it's like not that great.
Right.
And then if you do expect it, it expects it, and then it doesn't happen, you're like hugely let down.
Right.
So like, you know, we did it for a while, and then, you know, that lasted like a few months, and then like I ended up like seeing her more and more. Like I went and visited her in college, and you know, like she really wasn't. I mean, she was kind of seeing another person, but like we were talking more and stuff, and
You were the primary.
it seemed like that. It always, for at least all the way up until her and Harry happened. I always felt like the primary.
Right.
And so me and her, you know, ended up, you know, going to Central America together. She the next year comes, she's in college, she decides it's not for her. She drops out.
College, yeah, okay.
Yeah, she was at New College in Sarasota. So we went to Central America together, which like I really didn't know. Like like there was a time like in Thanksgiving she came to visit. I don't even really remember the specifics. There was like some game we were playing, or like I don't know. Somehow it came up. I was like I asked her like she was seeing. I don't even know like how it happened, but it like came out like she was seeing someone else too, like at school. So like I took that hard, you know. Like at this time, like leading up to that, like things were great, you know. Like
Right.
so like I took that hard, and we had like this really big discussion about like, you know, like she was a lot stronger than I was, you know. Like I was so tied up in the relationship, and she was like, I'm just trying to find myself. Like I'm just trying to like figure out who I am.
I won't
like,
say that's stronger. I wouldn't say that.
Well, she was, yeah,
She
I
had
don't know.
her priorities in order, and yours weren't the same. So
Yeah,
like
I
that,
guess
you know
so.
what I mean? Like,
My priorities though were like just in the relationship,
Right.
which can be toxic if you're not focusing on yourself and your
exactly.
own goals in
Yeah,
life.
for sure.
And I guess that's kind of what it tied down to, is like her priorities were finding herself, doing her thing.
They were bigger, like, than just.
Yeah, my priorities were like just our relationship, which
Yeah.
like when you put all your energy into a relationship, you lose focus of who you are and your own goals.
Especially
and,
if the other party isn't doing the same.
yeah,
It's like you're pouring so much into it, but it's like never full.
right, exactly. And with the expectation thing, like like, oh, we're gonna be like this. Like, why aren't we
Right.
like that? So, but anyway, we ended up going to Central America together. We spent 3 months together. Like,
In Central, where were you living in Central America, and what were you doing?
so we spent pretty much a month in 3 countries. Like 3 weeks. Yeah, it was 3 weeks in Costa Rica. Then 3 weeks to a month in Nicaragua. And then like a month and a half. Or like, yeah, I guess a month and a half, month and a week in Guatemala. So while we were there, when we first went to Costa Rica, we didn't know, like, well, we had planned on, you've heard of WWOOFing? Stands for like Worldwide Organization of Organic Farming. You like go
Holy shit, no.
you go like volunteer on like organic farms and like live that lifestyle, and they give you like room and board and like
On the
and
farm,
food.
or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like in exchange you work like 20-30 hours a week, and it's a good like hands-on experience
Right.
if you're into that stuff.
You're like
and
farming and doing like.
yeah,
farm
and like it's a
animals,
good
or?
way to, yeah, I mean every place is different.
Right.
And so it's like a good way to like travel for cheap.
Right, and learn the culture.
Learn the culture, you know, and yeah, you get like, because if usually most farms in a place like they're integrated into that community.
Yeah, for sure.
So like you're gonna talk
These
to.
are the things that they eat.
Yeah, or like just talking to community people, you know, you just get a better feel than if you just stay at some like all-inclusive resort on the beach, you know. To me, it's more authentic.
Yeah, for sure.
So we went to this place called the Monkey Farm. Like, of course, former sex monkey goes to the monkey farm.
Yeah.
So we get there and find out it's like whack as fuck.
Damn.
Yeah, like
With a name like that too. Like,
not
what the fuck,
not
man?
as advertised.
They're monkeys.
There was like a couple monkeys, but then like we found out that they're like not the like Costa Rican government had like shut them down a bunch of times because they're not like legally allowed to like it was like howler monkeys. That's what's like in Costa Rica. They're not like legally able to like recuperate injured monkeys or like bring them back to. What was happening is that they're taking the monkeys and then they're like domesticating them, so they'll never be able to return to the wild.
Right.
So like they're doing like really more harm than good. Instead of like holding them for a couple of days and giving them to people that actually could do it.
Right.
You know, and then like before we went there, they're like, "Oh, you guys have to do like a donation campaign to provide money for the farm." So like me and Amber both did like provide milk for our baby goats and blah blah blah. We get there, there's like no goats. Right?
What the fuck?
So we get there and like the animals, they had pigs. I don't think they had chickens. I just remember pigs. Oh, they had horses. They're like living in filth. They're not being. There's like no real direction on the farm. Like no one's really telling people what to do. Like it was very like loose. Our first day, like we go to the grocery store to pick up all the vegetable scraps, like all the stuff that they throw away. We bring it back. Some of it we feed to the pigs. The other stuff we're eating. You guys eat?
Oh my god.
So we're eating like thrown away like chayote, which is kind of like a squash, and like whatever shit they had.
No way.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
so fucking wild.
Yeah, so like
it's the cheapest way.
Yeah, so like we're eating that kind of stuff, like whatever, and like we're just realizing that like it's supposed to be an organic farm. There's nothing organic about it. Like, oh, they had ducks too. The ducks are drinking like. We had like I guess like a veterinarian came or like a vet tech or something, and she like looked at the pig and was like,
"This motherfucker's dying."
Yeah, this pig's got diarrhea. Like we're
God.
feeding it the wrong things.
Oh my god.
Like no, and we're just like, this is not what we signed up for. And we paid like a deposit. It was only like $100 deposit each, but you know we paid a deposit. Amber ended up getting like electrocuted by an electric fence.
Shit.
It was like a bad omen. We're just like, dude.
Shouldn't be here.
Yeah, we're like, fuck this. And we ended up having a talk with the lady, like...
Of the owner? Or?
Yeah, like, and she was in tears, like, she's like, it just got out of hand, like, more than I could handle, and...
She need Dr. Phil.
Yeah. You know, ended up years later, like, a couple years later, I found out that she was, like, a scam artist.
Oh.
Yeah, I found that out years later.
Must have been a tax write-off or something.
I don't know. She was a American living in Costa Rica doing, like... Swindling hippies like myself into, like, you know, raising money for goats that weren't there. And
Right.
But while we were there, we did see a lot of cool stuff. We were right by the ocean. Really cool.
Costa Rica.
Yeah, like, me and Amber spent some really amazing nights, like, right on the beach. Amazing days on the beach with like rocks surrounding us and like swimming in the ocean and like buying weed from locals and all that stuff.
Hey,
yeah, always about the weed. Like, gotta find the weed wherever you're
everywhere. It's everywhere.
So, and it was really cool, like being, you know, speaking Spanish, ordering food in Spanish, doing that.
You're like super fluent in Spanish?
Nah, I mean, I can get my way around. My girlfriend now, she's Colombian, so like sometimes like we'll talk in Spanish.
That's
and, like,
cool.
But I mean, I'm a gringo, so like.
Are you gonna be like that couple that's in the store and they're like
I
talking
hope
about
so,
bread,
man.
but people are like, are they talking about me?
Yeah,
like,
I hope so.
You should.
One day, my goal is to be fluent in Spanish one day.
Yeah.
That really is one of my
goals. I want to learn Japanese.
Konnichiwa. Oh.
Arigato.
Oh, arigato. But yeah, so like we were there and we ended up bailing. We met this guy Dan in Costa Rica, and we ended up traveling with him for a few days.
Nice.
We went
hitchhiker shit.
Yeah, like we left. We walked away, walked to the town of Playa del Coco.
How long of a walk?
Probably like 20, 30 minutes. Not too bad. But we had our backpacks. You know, I had my whole backpack full of like my clothes. You know, it was a camper bag. You know, like,
right, everything. Yeah.
She had a backpack, like an army backpack with our tent, and a hammock, all that shit.
You made her carry all this. She was the mule.
Yeah.
Nice.
Definitely.
2017.
Equal rights, yeah.
That's right.
So yeah, we walked to the bus station, and that was like the cool thing about traveling, man. Like especially in Central America, it was just like having your backpack and just
It's so fucking wild.
Yeah.
It's like It's like nothing else. You know, you can't like hop on the Votran.
No.
Just be like,
it's so different.
Fuck it, I'm going home. Like
so different.
Yeah.
There's no.
You're just like walking around like, where the fuck am I?
Yeah. When we first got to
10 seconds. We'll be back
God
again.
Dang,
first
man. Time flies.
And 3, 2, 1, and we're back.
Back again. So yeah, we're talking about Costa Rica.
That's right.
So yeah, we'd gone there. We'd left the monkey farm, and
obviously, yeah,
it was
fuck
whack.
that place.
Yeah. So then we went to Nicaragua, and we went to this really cool island in the middle of Lake Nicaragua called Isla Ometepe.
Okay.
Very like rural. Like you got people still with carriages getting pulled by horses there.
Word.
Like, farmers. You know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like
That's
way,
so cool.
way. I mean, there was like the main area, like some bigger like.
Were there
towns.
still cars around?
Yeah, yeah, and like you know, like
modern
town.
Cars?
Yeah, relatively.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, still once you get out of town, you're like out. I mean, it's just a big. The island itself is 2 huge ancient volcanoes.
Oh shit.
In the middle of the lake.
Not active.
No, not active. I don't think. Anyways.
We don't know.
Yeah, so when I was there, I think one of our days in Costa Rica, I got exposed to the dengue virus. So
oh shit!
I got bit by a mosquito that had dengue.
See, that's why I don't fuck with mosquitoes, dude. I see them at work all the time and shit. I got the fucking spray up here.
Yeah.
Fuck
crazy.
Those things.
So I got
What was the virus?
Dengue fever.
What does that do?
So it's a virus. So like you have fever, chills, your body aches, super sore, you're no energy at all.
Does it pass or?
Yeah, I mean, so your eyes have like this intense pressure. Like my eyes hurt so bad.
Really?
There was a few days like I just spent in bed.
Were they like swelling up or?
They weren't swelling. There was just pressure. They hurt.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, and
right.
I was no energy. Like Amber had to like nurse me back to health.
Damn.
Like, and there's no Walgreens out there.
Right,
there's
go
no,
pick up some Mucinex.
She was out there like cutting coconuts down with a machete, like because you know coconuts are really good for like electrolytes and
right.
you know if you're dehydrated. I mean, we were rubbing garlic on my feet, like all these home remedies to like
shit.
you know like yeah, it was intense. You know, like if she wasn't there, I don't know what I would have done. Like she actually like really was like my saving grace because I was pretty
fucked
sick.
up.
Yeah, like I lost tons of weight when I was in Central America. Like I weigh like 230 pounds now. When I got back from Central America, I was 168 pounds.
Jesus.
I mean, granted, when I left, I wasn't 230,
right,
but I had lost like at least 20 pounds. Like I was really, really skinny. Like I got parasites in Guatemala.
Damn.
There was a few days I was throwing up.
From shit you ate or?
The water. I don't know. I got.
Ooh, man.
This is kind of funny. One night I threw up and I didn't brush my teeth afterwards. Like I ended up getting like gingivitis or some shit, dude. My gums were so swollen.
Oh my god!
I couldn't eat for days. And when I did, it hurt really bad.
That's terrible. Oh my god!
But then like we went to this one lady and she had like this tincture and she's like just rinse with this.
She had the snake oil.
Some shit. Some like.
No
shit.
Know.
And she's like just rinse with this and.
Peroxide.
It might have been just Listerine. No, it was like herbal medicine.
Yeah.
And it worked. You know, it helped me. And so yeah, we were in Nicaragua for a while, and then that time we were just kind of just roaming around. We went to different hostels, and we went to this place called Playa Maderas, which is like on the beach. We'd heard about it from some people in Isla Ometepe. They're like, yeah, you can just go chill on the beach, and like you pay like a few dollars a day, and you blah blah blah. Went there. We slept in the tent on the beach for a few days. It was totally littered. We like cleaned up the beach.
Nice.
And then like the time to leave, like we never paid, and like should we pay? Like no, we cleaned up the beach.
We paid our dues.
So we just hopped on the shuttle bus and like
dipped.
Yeah,
now you're wanted.
Maybe. So like, we got back, and then so we did that. We traveled up north through Nicaragua, and then eventually we took a shuttle from Nicaragua up to Guatemala. We went through Honduras and El Salvador, stopped for lunch in El Salvador, which is pretty cool, and then went out to Guatemala, and then got to Guatemala, this beautiful, it's called Lake Atilan, It's like very ancient, very sacred to the Mayan people.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful. Like you get there, like it brings tears to your eyes. Like I'm like, how is there a place like
it's
this?
that beautiful.
I'm not lying, dude.
No
It's like
shit.
beautiful blue waters, also ancient volcanoes. Something about Central America I didn't realize is like how beautiful that place is. Like it's crazy how like beautiful it is.
Yeah.
So we get there, we ended up going to one part of the, because basically you get to, it's called Panajachel, and it's like the main hub. That's where like the buses from, we stayed in Antigua for a couple of days and then took the bus there. And then we went to Panajachel, and then basically all the little towns are around the lake. And to get there, you have to take boats.
No shit.
You can take roads, but boats, everyone takes boats.
Right.
So we took a boat to one of the towns, I forgot what it's called. We ended up like hanging out on these rocks. We met like this cool traveling band. There was like this white dude that was from Washington but grew up in Mexico. So
what
like
the fuck?
when he spoke Spanish, he sounded like a Mexican.
Right.
Another guy from Chile, some other dudes from Mexico, another guy from somewhere else in South America. This cool like traveling band. They all met together and like they would travel around and play shows, and that's how they got their money to travel.
That's cool.
Right. And so like they were playing one, like jamming out, and like we're near them, and I'm like, man. So like I had some sticks, so I started kind of doing like a little drum beat, like just like.
Were you like slowly creeping up?
Yeah, kind of like that, like letting them know, like, hey man, what's up? So like we ended up conversating with them, and like we're looking for a place to stay, and like, oh, we're staying at this place, these people just left, you can come stay there. So we ended up hanging out with them a few days. Like I got
random ass house, or
it was, I don't know, it was like someone that rented these like cabins ish things for, I don't know, they're really cheap. And it was like these like 2 or 3 cabins. There was like a main area where like the kitchen area was, like it was kind of like outside,
like where
outside kitchen, but it was covered. Right. So that's like where everyone hang out. And then there's like little cabins like around
that's
it.
Cool.
I don't know really. I mean, I guess it was a hostel, but like
little mini resort.
There was no one there to really pay. They were like gone.
Huh.
So we stayed there. Nice. We hung out with them. I got to play guitar, which I didn't bring my guitar with me. So like it was really cool to play guitar.
Yeah.
And like I got to jam with them. Like there was this guy named Esteban. No shit. Really like handsome, like long-haired South American guy that like sang like an angel.
Yeah.
He'd be like, mi corazón, like, you know, like super like, you know, whatever. And so we jammed with them, met them, and then we ended up going to this place across the lake called the Yoga Forest. And it was kind of like a permaculture internship. So, you know, I'm still in, like, obviously that's like my goal is to like have land and permaculture forest, food forest and all that stuff. So like, you know, I wanted, I wanted to go places and like, you know, hands-on learn how to do these things. Yeah. And it was like a immersive experience. You know, there was classes you took every day, and you worked on the land and did all these cool things. And so, you know, we stayed there for like a month, and like we lived in like this big like circus like tent.
Nice.
You know, me and Amber had our own tent, and for the first time we actually had like mattress pads. Like when we ever slept in our tent, we just slept like on the ground on our sleeping bag. So like super uncomfortable.
Yeah, dude.
And so yeah, we did that for a month, and then you know, we came back. And
when you came back, was this when we all got the Sex Monkeys got back together?
No, that was before. That was before. Okay. So we came back, and I worked at Tomoka Brewery for like a month under the table as a dishwasher to make like $500.
Nice.
And at that point, like I wasn't sure if me and Amber were gonna split ways. When we were in Central America, for one point, she was like she kind of wanted to go her own way. We had like this big argument about it. I was like, like we're here fucking together, like we should be together, like enjoying it. Like why are we separating? Like, anyways, we ended up staying together. Came back. I was in Florida for like a month, and then we traveled up to North Carolina. I was there for a few months. She was working on a farm. I stayed at this place called Long Branch Environmental Education Center. It's really cool. Old hippie dude named Paul was there.
Nice.
It was just super chill. Like, I mean, I can go talk forever about it, but just a brief synopsis over. So, you know, I did that, lived in the teepee, left there, or before that, I was actually up in northern North Carolina, lived in the teepee for a couple
That's
weeks.
That's cool, you lived in a fucking teepee.
Yeah, there, it was kind of a work exchange thing. We were, like, building a fence for the people. You know,
Trump?
No, no, we were keeping animals out, not humans.
I've seen your Bernie sticker. I've seen
Yeah, man. Bernie 2020. Anyways, so I did that, and then eventually, so when we were in Guatemala, we met this Canadian girl, Clara, and she's like, yeah, I work for logging companies, and I plant trees, and I make, like, tons of money doing it, and we, like, you know, we camp out, and, like, you know,
for a logging company?
Yeah, like planting trees for, you know, farming trees.
After they, like, cut down some other shit?
Yeah, they plant other trees,
right.
You know, because they got to grow them, you know, cut them again
that's cool.
50, 60 years later down the road. And then she also worked for a cherry orchard and picking cherries, and, like, you make, like, a few dollars a bucket of cherries you pick, and you can actually make good money if you pick cherries. And so long story short, me and Amber got back together after kind of doing our own thing in North Carolina for a little bit. Went up to New York for a little bit, and then we made a beeline to British Columbia, Canada. And we were there for like a month or so. We were working on a cherry orchard. We were migrant workers for a little while. So that was like a new experience, you know.
Yeah,
like,
dude, that's wild.
That was cool. Like we lived on the orchard. We met all these French Canadians, so like they were speaking French all the time.
They talk shit about the Americans.
No, they were really cool. Like, you know, there was a lot of times where like we didn't know what they were saying. Like,
right.
You know, I tried speaking French, but like, not the language for me.
Yeah, man, it's another thing.
Yeah, and then you know, we did that, and then we met this cool dude named JP, like this old dude, like French Canadian, and if Brandon was French Canadian and was like 20 years older, it'd be this guy.
Oh man.
He was really cool, man.
You said JB?
No, JP.
Okay, because there was a supervisor at Sparkle and Shine, JB, and it's, I don't know, Brandon's probably get a kick out of that when he watches this.
But anyways, like, yeah, he just like, and me and Amber, like, we got along with him. Like, we were, like, really close. He played guitar, too, and sang. So me and him would jam all the time. And basically, like, you wake up at 6 in the morning, go to the cherry orchard 7, you pick cherries till 12, and then the rest of the day you chill.
Just chill and fucking...
And we just get high. We bought, like, a fucking ounce for, like, $140.
Good shit?
Yeah.
Nice.
British Columbian weed.
Hell yeah.
And it was super chill there. Like, you could bring your bong on the beach, which, you know, around the lake, because we were on a lake.
That's cool as fuck.
Yeah, it was super chill.
Just like walking around with a bong, like,
yeah,
have it on a strap.
Our bathroom was a porta potty. Our bath was the lake.
Yeah,
so
see, that's where you kind of have to like juggle it.
Yeah, I mean, we would take baths in the lake, you know, and like just taking a dip, you know, like you get clean.
Have trust that no one's like dropping deuces in the lake.
No, I don't think so. I hope like not.
It's an unspoken rule.
Yeah, don't shit in the lake.
Don't shit in the lake.
That's
man.
yeah, for real. Don't ever shit in the lake. Come on, people are trying to get clean here.
Have class. Come on.
So yeah, so at that point, I graduated tech school a year before, and so I decided to take a year off. You know, like I was at this transition point. I was like, man, I really don't want to like go work at a hospital right now. You know, I just watched that movie Into the Wild.
Great movie.
And I read the book.
Fucking love it.
And that really inspired me. Like
it's
I was like,
dude, Alexandra Supertramp or
yeah,
whatever,
man.
Dude, like Supertramp is an awesome
Chris
band.
McCandless. That was Chris McCandless. Chris McCandless.
Is that his real name?
Yeah, that was his real name.
Yeah, I don't. Remember Alexandra Supertramp.
Yeah, that was his travel name.
Know?
But you know, it really inspired me to like just sell everything I owned and just hit the road. You know, he was more radical with it in a sense where like he hitchhiked. I mean, we did hitchhike in Central America a lot. And, you know, but, I sold my car, I sold my drums, I sold my drum machine, I sold, you know, it was the end of an era, man. That was a year after the Sex Monkeys, so I sold everything I owned. I was really inspired, and, you know, that was, like, in the mode I was in. So, it'd been a year. I went to, we went to Canada, came back, and at that point, I was like, while we were in Canada, I was like, you know what? I need to start working as a surgical tech now.
Right.
And, so we came back, I applied for a job.
And what a fucking drastic change.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
From picking cherries to like holding someone's fucking leg, like while it's getting sawed off.
Yeah, man, and fucking people don't realize like how hard that was for me. Like I was living like a cool, chill lifestyle, and then now I'm
laid
like
back, pick cherries. For 4 hours.
Smoking weed in an orchard, picking cherries, like eating cherries right off the tree. Super chill, like, and then now, cutting, like, holding people's legs, getting cut off, and then, like, being in that serious environment, you know, and, like, I was kind of, like, I wouldn't say I was depressed, but it was really hard for me, and, like, obviously I was self-medicating a lot, I was, like, smoking a lot of weed, and that was kind of, like, the beginning of the end for me and Amber, you know, like, she just wasn't vibing with, like, you know, it just wasn't with what she was, like, where she was at and where I was at, and we kind of just started.
Right.
We were together, like, at that time, like, we were really only, like, it was just me and her. So, like, I'd say at that point we were strictly monogamous and for that year. And then, you know, a bunch of other shit happened, you know. And then we parted way, like, towards the end of that lease, she had decided to go to, back to North Carolina.
Right.
To work with AmeriCorps, like, building trails for the National Park Service. And that's when me and Brandon went on our road trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandon. Shout out to Brandon.
Yeah, Brando, man. Like, he was going through some shit. Him and his girlfriend had just broken up, and he was having a hard time. And, you know, I was planning on going the trip by myself. But, you know, I saw a friend in need, and I was like...
Come with me.
I was like, dude, don't worry about money, man. Like, save up as much money as you can. Like, come with me.
Come with me.
Do it. And, yeah, man, we had our epic road trip, dude. That was 2.5 months with your best friend, one of your best friends in a van with his dog.
Right, Molly.
Molly, yeah. By the end of it, we were definitely ready to, like, not be around each other for a little bit.
Just like, I'm sick of this motherfucker.
Yeah, like, you know.
He's breathing right now. Fucking aggravated.
Like, I mean, you know, you get that with anyone, you know. And so, yeah, me and him did our road trip. We did a whole circle around the country.
You guys got a fucking history, too. Fucking you and Brandon, no less.
Yeah.
You know, out of everyone in the group.
Yeah, so...
Then to become the dynamic duo.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that, like, so, like, in the group message earlier, you know, Brandon had brought that up about me bullying him and stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's kind of funny because, like, in 7th grade when we first met, we were friends, you know, like, we had drama class together, and, like, I remember...
You and Brandon?
Yeah.
In
like,
drama?
we did skits together, and we had, like, done a skit.
No shit.
Yeah, and this is funny because, like, I played the... Wait, was it? I think I played the kid that, like, couldn't read, and he was, like, the big guy that was bullying me.
It was the opposite.
Yeah, like, Brandon had dyslexia, so he had trouble reading,
yeah.
But in the skit, we played, you know, differently.
The opposite role.
And, you know, him bringing that up about the bullying, like, still shows me that, like...
Had an effect.
Yeah, you know, like... I mean, I was, you know... When that happened, I was probably, like, 13, 14 at the most.
13, 14, 6 foot tall.
Yeah, I was huge, you know, and, like... You know, retrospectively looking back at that, you know, I know why I did that, and what it basically comes down to any bully is, you know, you attack people that are smaller than you is because you feel small yourself.
Right.
And, you know, at that time in our lives, you know, things were, you know, we weren't, like, deep with each other. Like, it was very surface,
for sure
you know,
not.
like, we're just, like, hormone-driven, like, young boys, you know, and...
Running around the fucking streets.
Yeah, and, like... I have so much shit going on in me that I really have no clue how to fucking deal with.
Yeah.
So, you know, my outlet was, you know, even though, like, I would never, like, do anything to really hurt Brandon or even, you know, Hook at that time.
Right.
I still was, like, hard on them because I was bigger and stronger than them.
But for some reason it was weird because, like, it was, like, acceptable by the crew. Because it was
no one thought anything different of it.
Right.
But if we saw, like, some jocks picking on, like, a kid that was, like, nerdy, we wouldn't have any of that. But when it was within us, like, and, like, we were all hard on Brandon. Like, I remember at Holland when he got all the pizza slices and we made him eat all the pizza. You know, like, but, you know, I was obviously, like, I had enough impact on Brandon where like he hated me.
Yeah, you guys definitely hated each other for a while.
I didn't. Well, that's the thing is like I never hated him. It was just like I was.
It was
picking
that
on
animosity.
him. It was like a little brother that like I guess somewhat despised. I didn't despise him. That's not the right word, but like it just I think what it really came down to is that at least at that time in my life, you know, being 14 and going through a real radical change in like who I was, you know, like
you were wearing all black with the necklaces and the bracelets and
yeah, man, like I'd come. It's funny because like, you know, I came from a home that was relatively stable, you know, like all my other friends came from broken homes.
Right.
There was some element of dysfunction to their family life.
Yeah, yours was always like different. I remember the first time trying to get you to stay the night at my house, and you were like on the phone with your dad, like arguing with him, like treat me like a little kid.
I know, man. It might have been my mom. I don't know. But
yeah,
either or.
I didn't ask. I was
yeah,
just like,
dude.
Oh shit.
My mom definitely had very hard time letting go and like very controlling in that aspect, and
well, she was right. We were fucking wild, and
yeah, rightfully so. But like her insecurities. Because, I mean, it goes back, dude. Like, our parents fuck us up. Yeah. It's like a chain reaction.
And not intentionally.
No, exactly.
And it happened the same with their parents and their parents.
Right. You know, my mom came from a broken home. Her dad left when she was really young. She ran away a lot. She never felt loved. And growing up as a young child, even though she showed so much love to me and my brother, you know, my dad struggled with anxiety. My mom struggled with not feeling love from her own husband. So that energy, man, like really trickles down to your children, even if you're not doing it in an intentional way.
Yeah.
You know, and that really, you know, was part of my upbringing, even though like subconsciously, you know, it was happening subconsciously. I wasn't really aware of it. So, you know, once I started becoming a teenager and like all those hormones, you know, I became very angry.
Expressing yourself. And
and like really, going like
Slipknot.
against the grain. Like my parents were religious. My mom was freaking out because I was listening to Korn and like Slipknot and like all those bands and like
wearing the trip pants and
and like, you know, ironically enough, I went to church camp one time and I came back with black nail polish.
Oh my goodness.
Black socks and like
oh shit.
All this shit, you know, and she was freaking out and it was just such a like for me it felt so tumultuous and like, you know, I ended up going to a therapist for my anger and
really when you were so young?
Yeah, I was like 14.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know, and like when you're 14, like you really don't there's no like real introspect. I mean, for me,
well, you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, you're like we're like these monkeys, you know, like with these monkey brains and like these like spirits that are in these monkey brains, like trying to figure out our primal like emotions, and you know, you're such a young child at that time, like you really have no introspection of like who you are, what you're going through.
There's no wisdom. You're just all voice.
No, it's pure. Everything you do is off of emotion.
Yeah.
Every action is like off of like I'm not getting my way, I want this way, and like in a way like I was just really trying to rebel from what I guess I was feeling. That's why I was so drawn to you guys, is because you guys came from dysfunctional homes. You know, you guys dressed like me, like listen to the same music that I was into. Like I was in the gifted program. Like all the kids there had like, you know, doctors for fathers and stay-at-home moms and you know, dressed preppy and like whatever reason, man, like I was just like
fuck that.
Yeah, I was like, this is lame. Like I needed to like rebel from that.
Yeah, for sure.
And like I guess the anger was part of it, and you know, the music probably did fuel that, you know. I mean,
in a sense it gave you a release.
Yeah, like for whatever reason, like I related to it, even though like the things like Jonathan Davis was singing about, like I have
no fucking idea what that is.
Right, really no direct experience to that.
Right, but so, I feel that shit.
Yeah, so like in a sense, like I wanted to, I because of like I feel like what my mom, with her not feeling fully loved, it trickled to me where like I wanted to be accepted. Like I had low self-confidence, and I know that is why I acted out like with Brandon and Hook and like bullied them sometimes, and
we bullied everybody, dude.
Yeah, like I'm not like
they definitely got it the worst.
They did, and it's because they were little, and I think all of us were dealing with the same on different levels.
We were all fucked up, dude.
Yeah, like
we're all 13 thinking that we run the fucking world.
Yeah, I look at 13-year-olds now, I'm like,
dude, I seen one the other day and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like that was like me when I was like, get the fuck out of here.
We're
crazy,
fucking
man.
Idiots.
We've been idiots.
Up
until I think lately. I mean, I still do stupid shit.
And and like the whole not being loved and like not feeling like you deserve love and lack of self-confidence, dude, that's
heavy.
That's carried with me even till recently, It's been an ongoing process of me discovering that and letting go of that attachment to that,
that dependent feeling towards it.
Yeah.
It's hard, man.
Yeah, I mean, our egos, our existence, depends on our egos. Like if we had no ego, we would be nothing.
It's worse with the social media now too. It's like you had mentioned earlier.
Get me started on that, man. Me and my girlfriend have arguments about social media all the time, and I'm just like, I think it's the devil. I mean, I go on it. I don't have an Instagram or Twitter, but I do the mindless scrolling through Facebook from time to time, and if I'm bored and stuff like that. But I definitely there's a lot of goods to it, but I definitely see
a lot of negatives.
and
the negatives are integrated into the system itself.
Our society. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
it's not just like, oh, this is positive shit. Look at this. Look at this. It's like, we should argue about this. Look at this fucked up shit.
Yeah, dude, it's clickbait because people don't realize that with Facebook, you think that Facebook is the product, but in reality, you're the product.
Yeah, exactly, and you're feeding off of everybody.
Because they're making money off you clicking on the ads that Facebook is selling to these companies.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, man, and like you said, if you click certain, you're interested in certain things, they're gonna put those things in front of you, and it narrows people's perspectives. That's kind of my judgment is that it's kind of given birth to a lot of the, rightfully so, the outrage culture, but people feeling part of a tribe, they want to feel included in something, and there's definitely a lot of things to be outraged about. There's definitely
real
injustices.
Shit.
There's definitely inequality. Those movements are true, but there's definitely it kind of ignites this flame, putting people on sides, Yeah,
it divides, man. Especially, oh shit, we got 3 minutes, so it's fucked up. Are we gonna wrap this up? 2 minutes.
If you want, man. I mean, I think we should at least talk about the sex monkeys a little bit. Then we can wrap it up.
We'll take a quick break and then we'll come back.
We'll finish with the sex monkeys.
We'll sex monkeys.
I mean, we could talk for days, but
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We'll take a quick break then.
All right.
All right, and we are back.
We are,
and we were talking about
stuff.
How fucked up we all were.
Yeah, our childhoods and just dysfunction. Even if, some of us came from broken homes, some of us didn't, and no matter what, that drama, our inner drama was still present.
Yeah.
Within all of us.
It brought us together.
Yeah, it did, and that's kind of the beauty of the universe. We were cosmically destined to be together. We were drawn together, and
right.
That,
after almost 2 decades now.
Yeah, a nice segue into that. That gave birth to the greatest band in Daytona Beach history for 6 months.
For 6 months.
The Sex Monkeys.
The Sex Monkeys.
And we should take a shot for that.
Yeah, take a shot for the Sex Monkeys. Kyle's bitching out.
Yeah. Fuck you, Kyle. Ooh.
That was a big shot.
Yeah. Oh, good.
You still playing music?
Yeah.
I remember you were doing some solo stuff.
Yeah, I actually just recorded a song the other day.
Did you?
Yeah.
With the Fruity Loops, you were saying.
Well, I tried the Fruity Loops and it wasn't working out because it's been a while.
I'll show you some shit.
Yeah, so I have this other program called Audacity.
Audacity?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been around.
So I just used that. You know, I did the guitar. I doubled up the guitar for stereo, and then I did my vocals and doubled my vocals. And
nice.
Added a little
like John Lennon.
Yeah. Then I added a little tambourine track in there.
Nice.
I'll show you guys later. It's a song called Dusty Man. It's like only a minute. It was just like a little clip of something.
Is it on like SoundClick or is it
not yet?
Or SoundCloud, I should say.
Yeah. No, not yet. I just like I said, I was just kind of messing around. Just it'd been a while that I've like written anything or really I've been a while like actually like really played guitar.
Yeah.
I go through phases sometimes where I just don't play. Like
that's how it is.
I
Man.
feel like uninspired, I guess, to really play it.
Uninspired, or you're just not thinking about playing it.
Both.
Cause like I'll go where I'm like just producing beats for like a hot week.
Yeah.
And then like I'm like I don't want to make any goddamn music. I just want to write.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, let me pick up my guitar. Like,
yeah.
There's always like them little breaks in between.
Yeah, like I guess I'm just like doing other things in life that don't involve playing guitar or music or anything like that. And then it comes that time where I'm like, you know what? Like I'm feeling this. I want to write something. Yeah, and like with this, the singing, like I've always kind of been self-conscious with my voice. Like I don't have like a nice soul-soothing voice or whatever, but it's my own voice. Like I can sing on key. Like I know when it doesn't sound on key. Dude,
you always gotta look at Bob Dylan.
Yeah, I do think about that.
You know what I mean? Like, dude,
But he was a great songwriter.
He's a great songwriter. He can play like a motherfucker, and he could sing.
Yeah.
But it's not like, you're watching a fucking orchestra or whatever, the opera. He's like,
yeah.
He's just like,
I mean, some people just got. Yeah, but some people just have like really, just nice chill voices. Like like someone like Jack Johnson. Like his voice just sounds really good. Or Bradley Noel from Sublime. Like just really cool, like chill.
Natural fucking.
Yeah, like and sometimes I'm like envious of that. I'm like, man, I wish I could sound. But I have like all these other talents, So like, I try not to be too hard on myself. So yeah, like I actually. When I was in Louisiana, the girl Amber that I had stayed with, she had a violin, and I was like wanting to learn to play fiddle.
Fuck yeah!
And she just gave it to me.
No shit.
Yeah. So I had this I'm like, I'm gonna learn to play fiddle, but like never did. I still have it, and I still want to.
You definitely still should.
Yeah, and like same with a banjo. I got a banjo in North Carolina, and like I'm definitely a lot better at banjo than I am.
Youngblood's pretty good at the banjo.
Yeah, he's
he
fucking.
He can pick like a motherfucker.
Yeah, he's crust punk all the way.
He's all crusty.
Super crusty.
Old sport. We call him sport.
Sport, yeah. So yeah, man, like I still play music, and I really still miss, playing.
I got the drums.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, there's Brandon's drums.
Oh.
Before he left, he was like, "I'm giving these drums to you." I was like, "Fuck that." I'll hold on to these drums for you.
I miss playing drums, man. It's been a while.
I gotta get like one more stick. Probably catch a pair, man. We should jam out one day. That would be dope.
I really, like I said, I really miss like playing with a band. Like
me, fucking
like
too.
I was thinking about this on the drive here. I really miss the like creative like synergy between a group of people and
the process.
Yeah, and like their different like inputs into making a whole song, like everyone has their own
direction that they want to bring it, but it's like it's cool because it's like you could be going this way with it and this way, but if you put them together, it's like
so it's different when you're writing stuff yourself. It's very personal.
Yeah, I get real picky.
Yeah,
I get super fucking
you're
picky.
Way more critical of yourself, and like because it's like just you.
Yeah.
But when you have other people to like kind of like lay back on, and like other people, like it's like easier because like if it sucks, then you all suck. It's not just you.
Right.
So like it's a lot easier in that aspect. But I really do miss, like I said, playing with people and being in a band and like, man.
It was a feeling, man.
I mean, awesome when we when we were in high school, like. Obviously, like, me, you, and Dylan, like, we all play guitar. Like, obviously, Dylan, like, surpassed everyone.
Yeah, he just went fucking
yeah, like
skyrocket.
Right. You know, like, and me and Dylan hung out a lot, so like me and him played guitar a lot together, and
I pretty much just stopped. It was like Dylan plays guitar, let me sing.
Yeah,
You
and
know
like
what I mean?
I was always like the rhythm player, like he always played lead, and
Yeah.
like, you know, I had my own style or whatever, but like, you know, I still played a lot, and then like when you know the time came for us when we were like, man, start a band, you know, like obviously like we'd all like read Scar Tissue,
Yeah.
we were like super into Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Yeah.
which is like huge influence in the Sex Monkeys, like no doubt.
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. That was like, I mean, I remember writing the Sexy Monks on this little notebook, and then like looking at it, and I colored it weird, and I was like, ooh, the Sex Monkeys, that's cool.
Yeah, you drew that. And remember like trying to come up with a band name?
Yeah.
Throat Oyster.
Oh my God, DNA Scarf. That was Alex Page. That was all Alex Page.
Dylan was going through shit. Him and like Emma broke up, and he was like checked out from playing. He thought he was never gonna play music again.
Yeah, and we had the Fred Astaire's Battle of the Bands.
Right, and he was like, "I'm not doing it."
He wasn't in town or anything. I don't think.
Yeah, and then we played with Alex Page, and we played a Pixie song.
No, it was
we did.
Marcy's Playground.
Oh yeah,
we played Gouge Away. We played Gouge Away, but it was Marcy's Playground that he did that.
Sex and Candy.
He's like, I smell sex. Everybody was like, what the fuck?
So like after we played that, they're like, all right guys, like come back again.
Because I had to tell him, I was like, dude, that's not our guitar player.
Yeah.
Like, he's not here right now. He couldn't make it. Like, just give us a chance.
Yeah. So we came back and Dylan decided to play with us, and then of course like we
Sex
killed
Monkeys. It was the Sex
like
is Best and
the
freestyling.
The genesis of like Sex Monkeys,
Yeah.
and you know, then we did that Battle of the Bands at that one
Red Tides, or
it was on Beach Street.
it was Red Tides.
Amsden was there.
Oh, fucking cocksuckers! But that's where we first.
I mean,
played
we were
Golden
still
Showers.
so new, and like honestly, like I'd only been playing drums for like a few months at that point, like. So like yeah, I mean, you were singing, Dylan played guitar, and I was like, dude, I don't want to play bass. Fuck bass.
Yeah, that sucked because I was playing bass for a little bit.
Yeah, and so I was like, and I'd always had rhythm. Like I'd always like, I don't know. I was just like I could play drums.
Yeah.
And did you go with me to Jacksonville, or was it Dylan?
I think it was Dylan.
So we bought a drum set off Craigslist.
Yeah.
Went to, and then you know it started in my parents' garage, man. Like
I remember.
And
we had the song about Kyle.
Yeah, 22, 16 or something.
Dude, I can't believe you like kind of remember that. That was
Yeah.
great. That's awesome. We won't get into that. I know.
Anyways,
It's the fucking dryer, dude.
Yeah.
This is real life shit.
Yeah, dude. Anyways, so like, God bless my parents for like letting me practice.
Dude, they
drums.
put up with a lot of shit.
Well, not even that. Times you guys weren't there, like I would blast Blood Sugar Sex Magic and play to it, and a lot of my style was like based off Chad Smith and Dave Grohl. Like, I love the power of Dave. I mean, you know me, dude. I play fucking loud and hard.
There'd be blood all over the snare.
Yeah, like and then the style of Chad Smith with the power of Dave Grohl, like both combined, like those are like my two favorite drummers.
Those are fucking powerhouse drummers. Man.
Yeah, and so I would just play to that, and then like I don't know, dude. It just seemed like I picked up drums really. I don't know how. Like it just seemed like I just.
You did. You picked them up quick.
It seemed like I knew how to play drums all along. Like obviously, I got better as time progressed. And, like,
I remember you practicing the periwinkles or whatever.
Yeah, paradiddles.
Paradiddle. That shit.
And yeah, as time progressed, like obviously I got better and better and better, and you know, then like this is a whole nother podcast. The house.
Yeah, that'd be like a fucking movie if possible. Fucking 1808 Halifax.
We lived. You know, first it was just me, you, and Dylan, and then Kyle just came.
Kyle moved in.
You and Kyle shared a room together.
Yeah, the Florida room.
And then Brandon lived on the couch.
Yeah.
That big ass blanket he had.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know he was there.
No, and like. You know, what I remember most about that house is that winter where we had no heat, and it was
the window was fucking broken?
So...
You remember that?
So fucking cold. I remember just going to sleep in my clothes.
Just dying.
Going to my bed, it's just like, so cold. Get warm.
He had a fucking heater. One that you plug in the wall,
Yeah.
Dude. We had it like on a little nightstand.
We tried turning the oven on. we had the players' lounge where we brought the couch into the kitchen
Yeah.
we never did dishes. The kitchen was a disaster.
It was fucking
We
terrible.
cooked all our meals on the George Foreman grill.
It was great.
I remember heating pizzas up, the toast,
folding it in half.
yes,
and then,
pressing it,
dude.
cooking pancakes that had like that grill taste to it.
Yeah, man, it was great.
But those were like that time was like the most creative, probably the most creative time of my life.
That was a pivotal moment.
Yeah.
For all of us.
I mean, our studio, our jam space was in our house.
It was the living room.
Yeah.
The drums were always set up. The amps were always plugged in.
Yeah. And, it was so organic because anytime, like, I would just hop on the drums.
Start jamming.
And we just started jamming.
Someone would walk in the room and be like, hey, man, let me hop on that bass real quick.
Yeah. And, those times where, like, we were just making music, like, we weren't about, becoming famous or...
No, it was just like...
Our biggest thing was wanted to play live. We wanted to play in front of people. And we wanted to make good music. And we wanted to be the funkiest, dirtiest motherfuckers out there.
Straight the fuck up.
And that was, like, our motto. And, that's what we strive for.
We're bringing a new dope, man.
You got it?
No,
Are you
no.
rolling your sleeve?
I thought
you had a new dope on your sleeve.
No, that'd be dope.
No.
It'd be super dope.
Yeah, man, and like, we were just like, we were partying, we were really good musicians, and like, I think we would have been way more successful if we had that like business mentality to it, like actually
if
like
there was
apply
someone
ourselves.
like watching from the back, like, yo, dog, y'all need to do this.
Like a proper manager, not Brandon.
No, we put a lot on Brandon. He was our sound tech. He was the manager.
He was collecting our money.
He was collecting the money.
But yeah,
he didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah, and if we really had like pure like real direction.
Oh, we would have been on fire.
I mean, there were so many times like
maybe.
And I really think I think about the time where we were supposed to play at that one place with King Catawampus. What was that place?
On Beach Street?
Yeah.
The Coliseum or something?
No.
Sick Boys.
Sick Boys, yeah.
Sick Boys.
We were supposed to play there with them, and, Dylan had quit the band for, like, I don't know, 6th time or something, I don't know.
Yeah, he did that douche.
He quit the band a bunch of times. And, I remember him calling me up when I was working Quiznos. He's like, hey, man, you mind if I play with that other
Dark
band?
Citizen.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I was like, whatever, man. Like, sure, like...
Yeah. That was around the time we made Burning Urinal Cakes.
That was before. Burning Urinal Cakes was early on.
Yeah, but that was when... Well, maybe that was another
that
time
was
Dylan
early
quit.
On. Yeah. Burning Urinal Cakes was, early on. And that's when we did it before we went to work.
Yeah.
And, we recorded on that 8-track you had.
Yeah.
But I really, I don't know. That probably could have been nothing. I feel like there would have been a big crowd there. It was a different place other than Tiernanog.
I was kind of let down about it, but
I was.
Fuck it,
I was too. But I think as most relationships in life, all relationships in life, they serve a time and purpose. And I think at that time, the Sex Monkeys, like, it served its purpose and time in our life, But, dude, I have so many times where I think about, like, fucking quitting the surgical tech and just, like, wanting to be just in a band and focus on that.
Dude, it's where it's at. It was so much fun. I never had so much more fun than when I was on stage.
Yeah.
Like, feeling the music. It's, like, one thing to, like, rap, perform, and hit, like, in hip-hop, it's one thing. And, like, that's a different kind of rush. But, like, when you have a whole group providing all of the music as a feeling, it's, like, a totally different thing.
Yeah, you're feeding off everyone's energy, and you're feeding off of the crowd's energy. And, like, no lie, man, when we played at Tiernanog, like, there was always a big... I mean, granted, a lot of people were our friends, but there was a lot of other people there that really digged us, man. I have a neighbor that lives in my parents' neighborhood. He lives on the other, like, 2 streets over. His name's Toby. He comes up to me, man. He's like, the Sex Monkeys, man.
Yes.
I remember you guys. You guys were awesome, dude. Like, you guys were the shit. Like, real original
awesome.
Music and everything. And, like, that, when, even the other night, like, when I saw you guys perform on Tiernanog.
Yeah.
A few people, like, I said that, like, I was a drummer for the Sex Monkeys, and like, yeah, I remember you guys, blah, blah, blah. Like,
man. We made a fucking impact.
Yeah, like, we were different. We were original, and especially when Def B came, and, like,
yeah,
we added the hip-hop element to it. Like, it was just, like, a whole nother animal. And, like,
it was.
Before the end, dude, like, I feel like even though things were very dysfunctional, and, like, like, I was always late,
I was talking about that earlier.
I was always getting high at, like, Mandel's house, and then, like, we'd have band practice.
Shout out to Victor.
Yeah, Victor. And, I didn't take it seriously in that aspect. Like, I was always late. And then, like,
Then we pepper sprayed your whole drum set, so
yeah,
you were all fucked up.
I remember that.
When you came to practice.
But as a whole, like, even though, like, there was drugs involved, and, like, there were, like, Dylan not feeling like he was so passionate about it. Like, it was hard for him when we weren't taking it as seriously as we should have been.
Right.
And, but even beyond that, like, our music was really evolving. Like,
it was, dude. The last songs that we were making, Pathetic Romantic.
Yes.
And, I Heart the Blues.
Yeah, and then there was, like, other shit that we never
Shadows.
Shadows.
Yeah.
Like, we were getting tripped. And I feel like if we really took the time and, like, the effort and, like, really put in that time, we were really, like, evolving.
Making some shit.
Yeah, and, like, like, as anything, like, it starts off as something, and then it evolves, and it builds, and it
either gets better or it fucking...
Right, and we were getting better, but
yeah.
we had all these outside life circumstances, and realistically, like, we all needed to kind of go on and
grow up,
do our own thing,
I think that was the main thing, is that we were just so young.
Yeah, we were young and stupid.
So do you think you'd be down for a Sex Monkeys reunion fucking 2.0?
Yeah, I mean, now... when we first got back together, like, I was kind of dealing with shit. So, as personally, like, I wasn't as invested. But, yeah, dude, like, now, like, we have...
I think I was going through shit, too. I think I was, like, homeless and shit.
Yeah, now, like, we've all done our own things. We are all, like, we've grown as individuals. We've gone our own ways.
And as artists.
Yeah, and we have more wisdom. And I really think that we could create... really great music together, like, I mean, I haven't spoken to Youngblood in a while. He's a different, I don't know what's going on.
He's a whole nother thing, man. He's doing his thing, but he's always down to jam.
Of course, and I think he would be always down to jam.
He's always down.
He would be cool with it, and just a matter of getting us together and
all in the same place at the same time.
My goal is for us one day. I want to, for like at least a month, for Chili Pepper style, but maybe not a mansion in LA, but
that'd be dope.
a cabin out in the mountains,
right,
where all of us get together. We all take time off work. We're able to do it, and just all of us put the effort in
to make a fucking album.
Put an album, a
the
legit.
World needs.
Dylan he went to school for it. You beyond, like, you've done so much with, your production, and recording and stuff like that. Obviously I'd have to brush up on drums again.
Well, I think that's all of us, except Dylan. He'd be on his shit.
Yeah, but I really think we could create something fucking. And now, like,
yeah,
I do some songwriting and singing, like Dylan does, like all of us. I really think we could create something amazing, and I really, really hope one day that we could do that. And fucking A, man, I even think maybe we could do a fucking tour or something.
That would be dope, dude.
Fucking why not?
Sick.
Just fucking do it, dude. Like, none of us really have attachments. I mean, for the most part. And, like, I know your girlfriend, she's supportive of you, like, in your music and stuff. And if we wanted to go, like, on a month tour or whatever,
rock some fucking shows.
just do it, man. Like, who fucking knows,
Yeah,
like,
man.
why not? And even if we don't ever tour, like, just to put us as friends,
make a
as
project.
brothers, do a project together and create something really beautiful together, like, and just to be able to have that, some tangible music that we put together.
Right.
And when I'm an old man, I can look back and listen to something that I really put my heart and soul
Sex
into,
Monkeys.
full effort into it,
Yeah.
like, just really focusing on that.
Wisdom and fucking, like,
Yeah, like, we're a little bit smarter now.
A little bit.
And
some of us.
Yeah, I really that's one of my dreams. Like, learn Spanish and then making an album
An actual Sex Monkeys.
A really legit, good sounding like album together as friends and brothers. Like that's, I really hope we can do that one day.
Fucking A, man, I'd be totally down.
Yeah, we just gotta make it happen, man. I know we can. We're more financially stable. We're more grown as adults, as men, and
better at planning. I know when the shows are.
Yeah. And I really think we can do it, man. And like, I've talked a lot about, like, with my girlfriend lately, about manifestation, making things happen.
Absolutely, yeah.
Visioning what you want out of life, and everything in my life that I've wanted, like, I've manifested, I've made happen. And I really think if all of us together manifest that we want to accomplish this, if we're all on board, like I'm pretty sure everyone would be.
Yeah, for sure.
We could really make something happen and really do something and put it out there for our friends and family to listen to, for us to listen to, and those other souls out there that might stumble upon it to enjoy.
Right.
And if they like it, they do. If they don't, fuck them, then we like it. And that's really most important, that we like it.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Good name, man.
I think that's it, man. I think we've been talking for a long time.
Almost 2 hours now. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming by.
Yeah, man. I'm really happy that I got to come here. Like, it's been a while that me and you really had a conversation together. I mean, me and you lived in Charleston Place together, and I remember smoking out of the bong, watching Braveheart together.
Yeah, dude. Only the second.
People would be knocking on our door.
Like, no.
Me and you were like, nah, dude.
They didn't text. They didn't
pass
call.
the bong. Like, yeah, fuck that.
Them.
And I'm like, I'm really proud of you for, like, doing the hip hop thing, because it's something that you're passionate about.
Thank you.
I mean, I can't tell you how much Tupac and Eminem I listened to when I listened to Charleston Place. But
yes, you had no choice.
No, I didn't, and I'm grateful for that. Opened my eyes to those things, and it's cool that you're branching out, doing this podcast thing.
Yeah,
and,
I fucking like it so far.
Yeah, I really hope to come. Yeah, I really hope to come back on and talk more. And it's really cool that you're branching out, doing this, and it'll be something cool to look back on,
right?
And listen
10 years and be like, look at these.
Yeah, man, what a fucking dumbass.
And if we're still doing it, just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, what the fuck? Yeah, exactly. And yeah, man, thanks for coming out. I'm glad I got to finally do this.
Fucking A, man, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, peace out.
Peace.